high-precision strike was reported in the Baratovka area of Mykolaiv, where a Russian Iskander-M tactical missile targeted the temporary deployment site of Ukraine's 35th Marine Brigade. According to recent reports, Ukrainian forces suffered significant losses both in personnel and military equipment. What impact does this strike have on Ukraine's military strategy in the southern sector? And how is Russia leveraging the power of the Iskander missile system in modern warfare? Watch the full analysis in this video. The Russian armed forces conducted a precision missile strike using the Iskander-M tactical ballistic missile system against a temporary deployment site of Ukraine's 35th Marine Brigade in Baratovka, Mykolaiv. The target, a forward operating position believed to be involved in staging personnel and armored assets for southern operations, was reportedly hit with devastating effect. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that the strike was based on actionable, time-sensitive intelligence. The targeted site was allegedly being used to coordinate regional troop movements, house communication nodes, and stage armored vehicles for upcoming tactical maneuvers in the southern theater. The Iskander-M system, designated 9K-720 in Russian service and SS-26 Stone by NATO, has become a central component of Russia's modern tactical missile doctrine, with a range of up to 500 kilometers and terminal maneuver capabilities. The Iskander-M is designed to evade interception and deliver high-precision strikes against hardened or time-sensitive targets. This particular strike marks a continued trend in Russia's use of precision munitions to interdict Ukrainian logistics and command structures, rather than focusing solely on frontline engagement. It reflects a broader doctrinal shift toward what Russian military thinkers call non-contact warfare, defeating the enemy by paralyzing their ability to operate. The Ukrainian 35th Marine Brigade, part of the country's naval infantry forces, is one of the more experienced and mobile units in the southern operational zone. It has played an active role in counteroffensive and defensive operations across Mykolaiv and Kherson. According to Russian sources, the strike destroyed several armored vehicles, temporary shelters, and command posts. Visual evidence released through state-linked media showed a scorched and cratered impact site with widespread blast damage. While independent verification is limited, the strike appears to have caused measurable disruption. Ukraine has not publicly acknowledged the full extent of the strike. In similar cases, the Ukrainian armed forces have maintained operational silence, a standard measure to prevent the adversary from confirming strike effectiveness. However, subsequent movements of adjacent units suggest a degree of tactical recalibration may have occurred. The Iskander-M missile carries a 700 kilograms warhead and is capable of being equipped with different types of payloads, including unitary high explosive, cluster munitions, or even electromagnetic pulse warheads. The versatility of the system allows it to be adapted to a wide range of target profiles. Operational intelligence likely played a critical role in identifying the 35th Brigade's temporary position. Russian ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability, including drones, satellite imaging, and signal interception, have become increasingly refined throughout the conflict, enabling more accurate targeting decisions. For Ukraine, this strike presents a multi-dimensional challenge. First, it degrades one of its more flexible brigades. Second, it introduces a persistent threat to any form of brigade-level concentration in the rear areas, forcing a rethinking of staging and logistics operations. In broader military terms, the use of such missiles complicates Ukraine's operational planning. The risk of sudden, high-precision strikes reduces safe zones and limits windows for unit consolidation, rest, and redeployment, all of which are critical in high-tempo operations. From a strategic communications perspective, Russia likely intended this strike to demonstrate its continued ability to deliver punishing blows at a time and place of its choosing. This serves both internal and external messaging purposes, reassuring domestic audiences of military effectiveness while signaling deterrence to Ukraine and its partners. It also underscores a cost-efficiency angle in Russian military thinking. The shift toward using fewer but more effective weapons reflects logistical adaptations and possibly ammunition constraints. A single Iskander strike can achieve what previously required multiple artillery batteries. The location of Baratovka is strategically relevant. Situated in Mykolaiv Oblast, It is not only a key node for military logistics and regional operations, but also represents a potential springboard for any renewed Ukrainian offensive toward the southern axis. Repeated losses in such staging areas may erode Ukraine's ability to amass and synchronize forces for counteroffensive pushes, particularly as pressure mounts in other sectors such as Donetsk and Kharkiv. In response, Ukraine may be compelled to disperse units further, employ hardened shelters, or increasingly rely on mobile command platforms. These adaptations, while necessary, introduce operational friction and resource overhead. Russia's use of precision-guided munitions fits within a larger pattern of strategic attrition. While the front lines remain relatively stable in many areas, the real battles are increasingly fought in the depth where logistics, command, and reserves become the main targets. This kind of warfare is also designed to generate a psychological toll. Knowing that a missile could arrive with little warning places additional mental strain on troops and disrupts the rhythm of unit operations. If the 35th Brigade suffered significant losses, Ukraine will need to assess whether to replenish and reinforce it, reconstitute it in a safer zone, or substitute it with another brigade, all of which affect force distribution along the southern front. For commanders, the increasing vulnerability of brigade-level formations to deep strike capabilities requires doctrinal adaptation. It may lead to more decentralized operations and changes in how brigade support elements are structured. The Russian military continues to emphasize its ability to strike behind the lines with precision. The message is clear: no unit is safe, even tens or hundreds of kilometers from the front. This also places pressure on Ukraine's Western partners to accelerate the provision of counterstrike capabilities, such as improved air defense systems, counter-battery radars, and longer-range precision munitions. As warfare continues to evolve, the Iskander-M has emerged not just as a weapon of tactical destruction, but as a strategic signal. It symbolizes Russia's intent and capacity to shape the battlefield on its own terms. Ultimately, the effectiveness of such strikes will depend on their frequency, accuracy, and integration into broader campaigns. An isolated strike may degrade a unit temporarily. A series of them can change the operational landscape. The attack on the 35th Marine Brigade is a case study in the modern use of tactical missile systems as instruments of both military disruption and strategic communication. As the conflict persists, the role of systems like the Iskander-M will only grow more prominent both on the battlefield and in the narrative that surrounds it.